finally, after 3 weeks, we get a horn salute from the drivers of the Advanced Auto Parts American Flyer Division. The last 2 weeks, I feel like all of us have raised our hands for a high five and been left hanging as the drivers were not using their horns in their parade lap salute. This week, they're back, using the horns. The brake lights are operational. Production street automobiles, 4-cylinder front-wheel drive cars on street tires, modified only for safety, racing only for trophies. This 8-lap feature is about to get underway. Roger Bryan, Joey Richards, the front row. Richie Miller, 3 wide, nearly against the outside retaining wall. Still 3 wide. Miller outside of Minjock and Greco, closing in on Joey Richards, threads the needle between the wall and the zero machine. Richie Miller, the man on the move at the drop of the green flag. He's nearly up to the second position, or at least door-to-door with Richards for the runner-up spot, and Richards is tagged from behind. Makes hard impact and collects Bill Oldham, and Andy Giles hard into him. A grinding, frightening crash in this division. As hard a contact as these automobiles can make. Joey Richards got tagged from behind, made contact with the inside retaining wall. They're paging the ambulance after hard head-on contact with Andy Giles. Bill Oldham in the 5 also got into the 0 car. Remember, these cars are heavily modified for safety. Roll cage bars and driver protection welded into these machines for exactly this kind of an incident. Bill Oldham, who made contact with the 0, and the 05 of Giles, who punted the 0 machine head-on the front straight. Red flag bringing a halt to the racing action. Joey Richards is out of the 0 car. In fact, out of the car with more energy than I think any of us could have been after that kind of a wild ride. Driver from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, last season was 14th in the final standings. He's only competed with us a few times in 2005, but the good news, he's out of that machine and he's okay after the hardest contact we've ever seen in the existence of the Advanced Auto Parts American Flyers here at MOTORDROME Speedway. Andy Giles moving around in the car, he's out and okay as well. Both of these machines heavily damaged, and Bill Oldham in the 5 proceeding around the back straight of the speedway and possibly headed to the pit area with damage to his machine as well. The Joey Richards 0 car may be through for the season or its life, but it did its job in protecting the driver from Greensburg, Pennsylvania, who walks away energetically. And all the latest news and point standing updates and driver interviews, you can tune in at 5 p.m. on 590 AM WMBS each Friday night for MOTORDROME Speedway Live, the NASCAR pre-race show. Miller in 87, Kevin Ludwig in 51, Ed Deneen in 16, the points leader, and the 5 of Bill Oldham now making up the field. As our new Grand Marshal for the American Flyer Division, Evan has the green flag in hand. The field is coming at him out of turn 4. And there's the green flag. 3 wide already on the front straight. Ed Deneen from the back of the field up to about the 4th position, drifting high. Richie Miller challenging for the lead. He had many more cars to pass to get to that point at the drop of the initial start. And now Richie Miller moves around the outside of Greco and takes over the lead. 4 times a feature winner, Richie Miller in car 87 out front. Richie Miller, 21 years old, from Dunbar, Pennsylvania, in car 87, taking the lead from Gene Greco with Aaron Minjock 3rd, Ed Deneen 4th, Roger Bryan in 5th. Richie Miller 2nd in the division point standings, 1st on the racetrack. Working now lap number 2 of 8. You see the active brake lights illuminating in these cars in turns 1 and 2. Minjock and Greco nearly make contact in the battle for 2nd. Drivers of the American Flyer cars telling us they want to try and go flat-footed around this racetrack without lifting off the gas, without touching the brake pedal. So can that be accomplished as we see the brake lights once again glowing into turn number 1? Greco in and Minjok nearly side by side in the battle for second. Richie Miller opens up nearly a half straightaway advantage over the battle for the runner-up spot. That's about to become a 3-car tussle as Ed Deneen gains ground on Greco and Minjok. Trading the second position. Ed Deneen from starting just about last, closing in on that group. Roger Bryant in the 5th spot. Richie Miller with a healthy lead. The Murphys 2, you pull a number 87 car. He won in his very first start in a competitive race, that being opening night this season. And the rookie has continued to impress all season long. He trails Ed Deneen in the point standings. Deneen has just moved into 3rd around the Gene Greco number 22 car. He's quickly going to challenge Aaron Minjok for 2nd. Working lap number 6 of 8. Deneen and Minjok fighting for 2nd, nearly making contact out of turn 2 and headed down the back straightaway. Deneen pulling side by side with the 34 of Minjok. Leading feature winner in the division, taking over 2nd as the white flag waves for rookie Richie Miller. Seems like nearly every other week it's Deneen, Miller getting the feature victories in this division. Larry Vance has snuck in a feature win. He's not with us tonight, but the 2 top dogs in the division make their way to 1st and 2nd yet again. In turn number 4, for the 5th time in 2005, Richie Miller takes the checkered flag. Coming home in 2nd will be Ed Deneen, the points leader, over Aaron Minjok in 3rd, Gene Greco 4th, and Roger Bryant in 5th. After the wildest Advance Auto Parts American Flyers feature of the season, Richie Miller finds victory lane. Did you get to see what happened behind you out there on the speedway at the violent red flag accident?
No, I had absolutely no idea what happened.
Actually, because of your progress on that opening start, you were able to move past those machines, but terrible carnage here on the front straight. Everybody walks away, and you won by what might have been the biggest margin all season. Was this car really hooked up tonight, and have you made any changes to it?
Yeah, it's amazing. I actually broke a bolt in the suspension in the heat race, and I got to thank my Uncle Dave and also Jonah Dickman and my dad, everybody that just a ton of help. It was really great.
And of course, your dad being Rick Miller, the driver of car number 25, a former champion of the Speedway, defending champion of the Speedway. You're within striking distance of a championship as a rookie. Are you starting to think about points yet now that we've reached past the midpoint of the season?
Well, I'm just really trying to concentrate on good finishes, win some races, and if I can do that, then the other stuff will fall into place.
Indeed it will, and now a chance to thank all of your sponsors.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Cindy Miller, my brothers Tim and Nick, also again my Uncle Dave, Jonah, my dad Rick, my grandpap, my grandma, my mom, everybody involved with this. They're the ones that really make this happen.